Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to the brand new 2021 edition of Scumbassador Live Education. I'm Carrie Fonte with Reuzel Education. We're so happy to have you with us. And we are starting the new year out with a bang. Our very own little firecracker from across the pond, Paul Taylor-Clinch, is joining us from England, his barbershop. And Paul, I'll turn it over to you in just a moment, but friends watching with us, remember, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, type it into the section. I'll find the right time to interrupt Paul and ask him. And if by chance we miss it, Paul will go back when the demonstration is done and answer all of your questions. We'll make sure all your needs are met. So again, thank you so much. Paul, take it away.
Hi guys, Happy New Year to all of you guys, wherever you might be in the world. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight on our Reuzel Facebook page. So today you can see my model, and yeah, we're sort of probably going to go with maybe like a faded part, because as you can see, literally almost no effort, and it's already finding itself apart. So we're probably going to go with that, but obviously, like always, to start with, I'm going to put a little bit of our hair tonic in my water bottle. And this is my favorite water bottle because this comes with me everywhere I go. And it was the last bottle I got while I was in Holland. So you can see it's a little beaten up, but it's my favorite. So like always, guys, we're going to start by wetting the hair to see what it naturally wants to do. And we're going to work within those parameters. So like Carrie said, if we have any questions coming through, either Carrie will read them out or Carrie will read them out. So, like I said, I'm combing it through. Definitely super excited to do another one of these, guys. I did it back in April, I believe, during our first lockdown. And at 8 p.m. tonight in jolly old England, it looks like we have another lockdown. So we shall see. Right, guys, as you can see, it's really quite obvious where a dip is in the hair for rabbit parting. So we're going to follow what the head is telling us to do. You all see that really clearly? Jolly good. Brad's giving me the nod. Brad is the apprentice here at my store. So you see, to me, every classic should be able to come backwards. So if you look at all of the haircuts on those two posters over there, literally 99% of those come backwards, and then they just either style it across, or even with the high and tight, it's still coming up and back like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to exaggerate that part past the occipital. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. Somebody in the comments, please correct me if I'm wrong. And then little bugger. Right, on the opposing side, you would have seen on my previous videos, or even some of the scoring ones or Rob's one, to find the part for the head on the opposite side of the part. I'm using the front hairline, that's simply coming across. That way then, I'm always going to be safe and working within the parameters of the head shape. Once I have that initial guide, it's then a lot easier for me to follow that all the way around to section off the top. Now, as you may be able to see, our section looks a little bit like this. This is because then we've got our baseline that's going to follow the shape of the head on one side, and then we have our parted side which has followed the growth pattern. So we've gone from skull structure to growth pattern within the start of our haircut. To add a little bit of stickiness before we start with our sides and our baseline, I'm going to use a touch of our Reuzel grooming tonic spray. This is 70% the consistency of the normal tonic. Also, it's obviously a lot less messy. And while I'm using the pink combs today, may as well use our new pink shiny toy. So guys, I'm going to elevate the hair so you can see it coming out horizontally, and then I'm just going to come out to an appropriate length. Using the bottom third of my clipper against the spine, I'll be removing the necessary bulk. Following that around the front. And then continuing where we left off, following that around the head. As you can see, just by that elevation, what that's doing is actually creating a slight graduation within the hair. So then when we do our clipper work, we've got a finish line. We've got a finish point of where we need to finish all of our clipper work, because that's our transition into the top. Now on this side, if we were going to go for a scumbag, the rule is, again, it can only go as high as that front hairline. So on my model today, if I was to do a scumbag, it wouldn't go right to the part. It would actually only go maximum to there. If I was doing an executive, then I'd follow it around square like the baseline. And I need some more water. Any questions on that first bit, on how we got there, or no? If not, I shall crack it on.
No questions, but you've got a lot of viewers from around the world: India, Vietnam, the US. Mad Mikey White Trash is watching. George Akatata, Cheeseburger. You got the world with you today.
Well, Mikey told me he wasn't going to watch me, so I know he misses me. Again, guys, so I'm just following it across. Remember, if I was doing a scumbag, the limit I could go to would be in line with the front hair there. Another trick you can do is, if you use the skull shape of the head, go from that longest point and follow that around. Right, with my scissors now, I'm just going to detail that area. Because as we all know, the scissors and the clipper do a similar job, just one moves a hell of a lot faster than the other, basically. So again, I'm just going to check it. Following around. And now with my fingers, as I approach the front of the ear, I'm actually going to turn my fingers inwards. So I'm actually going to go shorter towards that front area there. Rather than just go horizontal, I'm actually going to rotate my fingers towards the head, following that head shape. And as you can see, if I brush my baseline back, it all meets really nicely in the middle. Then coming across from the top of the head, on the tallest point of the head, we're then going to do some over directing to retain the length but get rid of the weight here on the sides. So I'm going to start with the side on my right, which is the side that isn't my parted. I'm just going to make some diagonal sections coming in. So I'm going to find my baseline. And notice how I'm angling my fingers into the head. It's creating like a taper look. So I'm tapering into the nape. And dropping combs. Again, comb width apart section diagonally coming forward. Picking the hair up, seeing my previous section. And again, it's important to look at the angle of my fingers. And then whatever can reach, coming up. Tapering in. On the other side, with our part, going to repeat this process. So again, I'm following it at the start from the parted side, matching it up to my baseline. And again, just following the shape of his head, creating that tapered look. Comb width apart. And again, everything that can reach, just to double check. Right guys, as you can see coming through, it's already created and got rid of a lot of that weight whilst retaining that length. Now I'm going to come from the opposite side to our part and start connecting those top layers. So I'm going to go from the very front of that one all the way back to the part, protecting that front area, because as you all know, to us that's the cool area and the cool part of the hair. And again, this vibratos coming through, connecting that top. So I like working from the baseline to the top simply because then the customer in the chair, he can see the style really early on in the haircut. So what you find sometimes is people do a really nice fade or a really nice haircut on top, and then the customer is then worried about the transition zone. Whereas if we can show them the style straight away, we can do that within 10-15 minutes of the haircut, because everyone knows that short sides is going to last 10 days max, 4 days on most fades. So if we can get them excited about the style early on, that way then they're going to be much more relaxed during the haircut. So then now we're going to grab and elevate up the remainder of the hair on top. I'm just going to connect it. The hair's not that long, but that's okay because the process would still be the same. So I'm elevating up to connect those layers, and I get towards that fringe area. I want to maintain the length, so I'm just going to over direct this as much as possible until this side tap, until I can get rid of that front area. See where it starts to drop? So that's the length I'm going to leave. And then I'm just going to come it down and match into my baseline and transition zone. That way then when I brush this back, you guys can see it's already blended, right? Jolly good. It's always nice when a plan comes together. Who said that? Was that 18?
Yeah, 100K.
Yeah, that one. So yeah, thank you, Simon. So again, I'm just connecting my top layers to my base. The shape now is pretty much already there. All I'm going to do is take the ends off of this top bit, but not too much, because I kind of like the length that we've got left. So I'm going to come up, squared section. I'm literally just going to take those ends off from, you see that corner there where it started to dip, where we did our over exaggeration. That's telling me already how much length I actually need to take off. And then for the back areola, I'm going to pull it straight out towards me. And again, all I'm doing, like, as barbers or as guys, we tend not to be the smartest people. So the way I like to work within our Reuzel system is almost dot to dot, like a child. So again, I'm coming up. But on this side, I'm actually going to soften that corner there, look. So I'm just going to take off that tiny, tiny triangle right in the middle, this side chap. See that there and there?
Hey, Paul.
Mm.
We have a new viewer, a couple new viewers. And actually, just for you to know, in addition to India, Vietnam, the US, Rotterdam, there's Romania, Belgium, Mexico, Canada, Greece, Peru, and Brazil watching today. But
Wow.
I know, huh? But there's a question, a new viewer who just joined us. What is this haircut? What's the name of this cut that you're doing today?
I'm basically going to do it as a cross between a scumbag boogie and a executive, but we're going to go really short on the sides. The reason why I say it's a cross, because if you look at my customer's front hairline here, a scumbag boogie still has to be in line with that front ridge. It can't go up here and just shave that part out, because then the haircut doesn't look balanced. And then an executive would just be completely flat there, but you can see I've elevated it slightly to come up, so then that meets that front hairline. If you follow me to the infamous posters, you can see on this chap here, oh, the light is a bit crap. Wait there, let me hold it, see if I can lift it. There we go. Now, there. You see his hairline, you see the top of the fade, you see it's in line. This model could have it shaved right up, and that's how it works and still retains that squared shape. But not every customer is going to be able to do that. So that's why I said we're doing a cross between a scumbag and an executive.
Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. So, guys, we've gone straight down the middle on the top. We've taken off the slight corner here to make it softer. However, on the parted side, to retain the squareness, we're going to elevate just straight up from the head. And literally, if nothing needs to come off, don't chop it off. So, straight up. And what that's done is that's retained the squareness of the haircut, softening up this side here with the transition into our baseline. And then if you follow it around, everything already looks blended and connected. And all we've got left to do is basically the boring bit before we can get onto the products. So, I know that Rob, some of the scoring guys still like doing no guards, but I like guards, so we're going to use it. I'm going to go with a number 3 because I've got quite chubby fingers, I'm sorry to say, and that's pretty much the width of my fingers. So I'm just going to do that to go just underneath my baseline area, and just to simply get rid of a lot of bulk pretty quick. Damn masks. Is anybody else having trouble around the ears with customers' masks? That'd be cool to know. If so, give me a tip and then I can learn something as well. Apart from don't eat yellow snow, I know that one. I fell for that one twice. Yeah, you like that one, huh? All right. So I've done my free. I've done my secondary guide. I'm now going to go in with a 0, and I'm going to follow my baseline. The thing that bothers me the most when I see these sort of haircuts on social media is they'll do, say, a horizontal fade or have it completely flat when the top is already presenting a different angle. It loses the consistency for me. So whatever you're going to do, you need to follow the shape you've already created. So as you can see, I've tried to keep it as parallel as I can to my baseline of the part. Yeah? On this side, you can see my baseline area is pretty much horizontal, right? So again, I'm following it and it just dips ever so slightly at the back there. And if you notice, I haven't gone completely above the ear when I was putting in my lowest start of my fade. And that's because I can already see how much room I have to complete my work. The last thing you want to do is obviously go into that baseline and then have to start all over again. So by doing this, I've given myself the parameters on which to finish. So, yeah, go on, we'll start on this side. Let's get that hair off your chap. Okay, now I've got the half guard on. I'm going to go about half a finger width above. And that should take me just above the actual ear line. But Carrie, I've already been told how many of you guys are watching from around the world, so thank you so much. I do appreciate it. The thing that I love about these clippers is the clicks on the sides. Like for me, I find that incredibly useful because then I can keep my fading work nice and consistent. I know that, say, 2 clicks blends into a half, 1 click. Then closed. And now I've blended from a half to a 0. I'm going to repeat the same process with the number 1 guard. So again, I'm going to go up about half a finger width or so, not too high. Again, because I know my parameters and what I've got left to work with. Yeah, can you just hold this for me? There you go. That's it. Lower that, move your head that way. Tip top.
Paul.
Yes, ma'am.
Nicholas Fury, your Scumbassador buddy here in the States, says, I use hair clips to hold the mask handles in place on the cape or use a comb and pull the handles on the nape. So, Nicholas, I think you need to make us a video and show us how you do that. We'd love to see it.
I think so too. It's definitely a lot easier if they have the masks like what I got because the elasticity is pretty good in these ones. And it's not going to like pull on the face. So again, guys, similar process, 2 clicks, 1 click, and then closed. And then if there is ever something there, obviously if we work logically, the shortest thing than a half guard itself is the clipper all the way open, right? So again, I can just tweak, because I'm not moving on until I'm happy, because then that way I'm like rewarding myself as I go. And I get that feeling of being consistent and enjoying my work, basically. So now we've actually done the fade, I'm going to do the blend now. So I'm going to go from that 3, remember that's what I did because of my chubby fingers, down to a 2.5 or a 2 open, then a 2 closed. Then logically, the next shortest possible thing is the 1.5 guard all the way open. One and a half guard closed. Then number 1 guard all the way open. Half open or 2 clicks. Closed. That's basically the basic system in which I start with. And then if I see some little areas that I'm not quite happy with, then I will just refine it. So start again from the 2.5. Because I find it's better to just work your way back down rather than guess and get it wrong and then you fucked up the whole thing or then you have to start all over again. So then the 1.5 guard all the way open. Then closed. Then number 1 guard all the way open. Half open or 2 clicks. Closed. And then if I need to do any further refinement, the half guard all the way open. 2 clicks. Closed. So as you can see, then that's the basis of how we're going to carry on working throughout this haircut. So there you are, chap. You can, there you go. So again, I'm going to follow that around, but I'm going to use my vision. I can only see this area here, right? I don't care about this side yet because I don't need to worry about it. So if you don't need to worry about it, then don't worry about it. So again, guys, so half finger up, and I'm connecting it to my first column there. Then 0, 2 clicks, 1 click, closed. Then the 1 guard. Half guard, 2 clicks. One click and closed. And you can already see that's already started to fade in for a round, and now we're back to our blend, which is obviously the 2.5 or 2 all the way open. Why do I call it 2.5 when it's all the way? There you go. That's another question for you guys out there. Why do they call it 2.5 when it's all the way open? Doesn't make sense. Then 1.5 guard all the way open. And again, as you can see, I'm going just slightly underneath where I left off every time. One guard all the way open. And you can see that's really starting to come together on this side now. I know he's watching, so he's probably going to whinge at me. I didn't give him any credit. But I first saw this done in Holland by Mad Mikey White Trash, or whatever his new name is now. Something about scissors, I imagine. And again, just refining. See, this is why I think fading is boring, because fading to me is all technique. It's not necessarily, you know, a huge amount of vision. It's more step by step. It's like a paint by numbers. And then, because also, guess what we're going to do now? We're going to carry on doing that. We will get to the product soon, I promise. We'll get there. We'll get there. And it's really cold here in England at the minute. Don't know why. Obviously, it's winter. Before you get all funny. I know it's winter, but it's cold. But again, I'm following. I hope you guys noticed that when I was fading the part that had the side, that had the actual side part in it, I was fading following the angle in which the hairline was going. So I wasn't just making a flat, straight shape. I was fading it following what I've created with the top. Because to me, the thing that I like the most is silhouettes. And I just think it allows the silhouette to be a hell of a lot more consistent. Excuse me. It can be a lot more consistent if it's following the shape you've already created, rather than having contradicting shapes. So again, when we wrap up near the end, after we've done the styling, then you guys are going to definitely see what I mean. But did you all have a nice Christmas or holiday or whatever you say? Also, I'm going to leave it up to you guys. I forgot to say, I should have said this at the start. I don't know what products we're going to put in Simon's hair today. So, Brad, but he's got slightly finer hair. My idea is to maybe have a combo between the texturizing powder and our fiber cream. But Brad will show you the products that I've got available to me, and you guys let me know in the comments which one you think I should go for, basically. So go on, Brad, go and have a curve. So as you can see, by following the fade around the head, I'm sort of refining my previous section as I move around. Again, what this allows me to do, it allows my work to be a lot more consistent. I'm sure you guys have had it where if you do say 10 haircuts a day and you find that, maybe like 3 or 4 and, you want to get that to like 7, 8, 9 out of 10. The way I like to work allows me to be a lot more consistent because it's a step by step by step by step. Literally as if you were a child, and I'm just constantly refining my previous section as I work forward. Oh, that sounds really weird. Forward. I know what that meant. Also, I really like his little flick at the front there. So whatever product you choose, make sure it's not too strong because I want to do something fun with that. Again, guys, on this side here, thank you. With my 0.5, that's actually going to go to the top of the ear where I'd be lining out. Because as you can see, I don't have that much room to work with. So I've given myself sort of starting point slightly under the curve of the ear. So I'm not going to ever go too high and mess up my baseline and my transition zone. But we have actually made it to the last column of fade in. So thank you all for still watching this bit. And then we're on number 1. Is it not too close? Can you go? Yeah, that's better. Tip top. And then with the 0.5, again, 2 clicks, 1, 2. That's going to blend always perfectly underneath my number one. One click. Then close. We also did, for our Hungarian ambassadors, we did a jelly roll video. So maybe if you've all been good boys and girls, maybe Carrie's got that somewhere and we can put that out.
I do have that. I'll be happy to post it and share it.
There you go.
Hey, Paul, Chris Dine asks, what clippers are you using?
Can I be honest? Or
Tell the truth.
all right, so luckily enough, we work closely with Fabulous clippers. So over there, I have our UK range. You know, we're limited on options, but we got like the sort of gunmetal grey. The skeleton clipper is new, and obviously the foil and the English charging stand. So I'm not sure you guys in America or some other places around the world you get the actual stands, but in England we do. And then I had pink scissors and pink comb. So luckily Babyliss in the States actually do a customized option. So I like to have some consistency with my tools. So I've got some that are silver to go with the clippers and some that are pink. So next thing I want is a skeleton pink and black one. So the skeleton one's there. I want a pink and black one of those, and then I'm happy. No hints or anything.
Hints taken. Hey, Paul, one more question. When the fade is over, can you just give us a few more details on your technique for connecting the hair on the sides to the fade that you're doing?
Of course I can.
Thank you.
All right, guys, I'm just going to finish off this column, do a little bit of refining, and then we're going to do like a summary and a breakdown of where we started to how we're ending up. But I think the thing that a lot of us like, or certainly I love about our job, is it's very much what you see is what you get. I personally like to think the main difference between working with men's hair and women's hair is in men's hair you're working in millimeters and women's hair you tend to work more in inches. So I love the fact that even though I don't necessarily like fading or I don't think it's interesting, it's nice to have that finished sort of product in front of you every time, which, you know, I'm sure you guys can all relate to. Again, that goes into that self-satisfaction of, you know, rewarding yourself as you go. That way then you're much. Sorry, I am British, I promise. So that way then we can have that level of consistency of aiming towards at least 9 out of 10 haircuts that we're super excited about a day, as opposed to 3, 4, or 5. So I'll do a little talk through in just a moment, and then I will begin to line them out. Sound. Right, Bradders. Yes. Please go behind me, chap. Okay. As in, like, at the back side, sorry. Yeah. So. Let's have a little bit of a recap. Oh, his gown's come undone. Can't have that. Can't have that. Alright. Alright. There we go. So as you can see, to start with, we brushed all of the hair back. That gave us our natural part on the sides here. Then on our non-parted side, we went with the hairline at the front, came round to create our baseline. That gave us this angle here. Obviously, it's not symmetrical, but that's the whole point because we've already got one section based from growth pattern, one section based on skull structure. That way then, you see how the two coincide when we start connecting our layers. The first thing we did was at the back here, went from the highest point of the head, and we over-graduated the length to our baseline. That way then we were able to retain the length but get rid of the bulk. We then sectioned off from protecting our front, so from the recession line of the baseline to the part, and we used vertical sections whilst angling out to connect our top layers to the sides. And then finally we used elevation to soften coming through to the front of the hair. All we've got left to do is do some refinement when the hair is dry and line them out. And then we did the fade, the boring bit on the side. Well, it's true. So, what we'll do. Has anyone got any questions, or you feel all up to date, or if I missed anything you guys would like me to repeat, go over, or you just want to say hello and Happy New Year, that's fine too. Alright guys, with blow drying, you always want to start with the actual part itself. So I tend to go for medium heat, and I'm going to go root to end. And then swap hands, because what you want to do, guys, you want to try and get in the habit of blowing the air the direction it's going. There we go, I knew what I was trying to say. Because if I'm like this, that's extremely uncomfortable. By just simply swapping hands, it's a hell of a lot easier. And again, I like rules. I know some guys don't like rules, and guys are, a bit funny with stuff like that. But I like working with what I know will happen. So for example, if the hair's going to go this way, and I blow dry it this way, I know that's going to create volume. All right, it's a simple rule, but hey, that's one I actually like rules. And then I don't know what this technique's called. I call it Superman, just because you do a nice little S shape. So you see I've swapped hands again, and I'm blow drying the hair the direction I want it to fall. Alright, now we can start to do some refining. So it's a little bit, just getting rid of some more excess that I don't need. But it's always better to have stuff to take off than be like, oh bugger, I need the prick stick. So again, guys, you can sort of see that nice silhouette already starting to form, and we haven't really taken out the weight or anything yet. Guys, how's it going with the products? What products are we thinking? or is it you just want me to do whatever I want?
Nobody has given you any advice as to what they'd like you to use, but there was a question. Why did you choose to use the spray grooming tonic, which is softer than the grooming tonic for the blow dry you just did?
I'll tell you what, there is a perfectly reasonable explanation for it. I don't have to keep washing my hands because it's cold enough already. There you go. Right. I love the grooming tonic, but it is messy. And the thing that is really appealing, especially for the hairdressers or cosmetologists out there, the thing that's appealing is the fact it's in a spray bottle. It's a lot less messy. You know, it's a little bit lighter. It's not quite as heavy, and you don't really run that risk of having an excess of a product and then making the finish slightly shiny if you're going for more of a matte finish.
Thank you. Now here's some feedback. So you've got the Muppet Mash, blue and pink, pink and green, and then Sid Suttung says mix of extreme pomade with pink.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Carrie? What do you reckon out of those?
Well, you know, I like to always mix it up and try something new that maybe our viewers aren't super familiar with. So maybe some fiber cream, maybe some extreme mixed with it. I love the matte style, the matte texture powder. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. All right.
You decide, Paul, but it's not about me. I mean, you decide based on what the hair needs and what the final look is. And here's another one, pink and green. So it's up to you.
Cool. Right, where are they gone? So, using my skeletons, I'm going to be lining them out and then with a razor. So, the trick is you never want to go into that hairline, but you want to hit it though. So I'm just following that around. Obviously his hair's slightly finer and lighter towards the front, but when we go around that with the razor, it's still going to really pop. A little bit here. And we enjoyed that so much, we're going to do it on the other side. Or what was it they used to say on Ready Steady Cook? It was like, and here's one I made earlier.
Here you go, Paul. Patrick Bishop says, I would love to see the texture powder. I'm experimenting with it and need some tips.
Wow. We can see what it does today together. I have done it before. We've mixed on the jelly roll video we did, we mixed it with the clay spray, which is one of our newer products. And we made that into sort of a cocktail. And that worked really well for fine hair and still keeping that volume for a jelly roll. But yeah, today I think you're right. I think we're going to go with the fiber cream and the powder together. And hopefully it's like a nice mesh. Yeah. I can't even speak English. So again, always ensuring it's a fresh blade every time. Make sure the customer sees that it's a fresh blade every time. Very, 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 very basic sort of hygiene. But it lets the customer know that you care about their safety and obviously personal hygiene as well. So again, guys, as you can see, I'm just hitting that hairline. I'm not trying to push it right back or anything like that. So when this grows out, it's going to grow out together rather than just like all the way back here or something terrible. I'm just following this around. Yeah, so you were meant to give me a nod.
Yeah, sorry.
So in England, we have a friendly insult It's also Bradders' nickname. Bradders, would you like to tell the nice people what your nickname is?
Tulloch.
There you go. A bit like if you ever saw Idiot Abroad with Carl Pilkington, he is our Carl Pilkington. Right. You're right to hold each of these. I'll just quickly, loosely blend in your beard for you. Guys, again, thank you so much for sticking with us. I know I've been rambling on for. What are you doing with that elbow? It's a bit weird. I know I've been rambling on for nearly an hour, but thank you so much for sort of tuning in and paying attention. Also, if you're in England, don't forget to watch the telly at 8 p.m. tonight, or watch Liverpool, which I'll be doing. But
Paul.
yes, dear.
It's been a pleasure watching you. It doesn't even feel like it's been almost an hour because you've given us some great tips and tricks, awesome education. And you have a special viewer today. So can you please give a big shout out to Mikey's granny because she's watching you today.
Really?
Yeah.
As in Mikey is in Holland?
Yeah, it's a Mikey White Trash. I asked him if he was messing with you or if this is the truth. And he said it's the truth. His granny is watching.
Goedenavond, Mikey's grandma. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a nice Christmas and enjoyed that volleyballing because I miss it a lot.
Thank you.
Right, chaps and chapettes. Today's saucy cocktail. Who doesn't like a good cocktail? So, powder in wet hair. Not too much on the actual part, but definitely on that front area. Then with a little bit of our fiber cream. Luckily I remembered to take off the seal, otherwise that could have been embarrassing. And you're going to want to, what's the word, emulsify? Rub it in. And again, I'm going to go in, start with that part, like with the blow drying. And now we're going to blow dry how we cut it. So we're going to start from our part, then we're going to go for our base, then we're going to go to the back, then the middle, and then the front last. That way then, we'll be building and building on our silhouette. So it's not just going to be like a flat object, or it's just going to go with the haircut that we want. Or we'll see live on Reuzel channel that this cocktail does not work. But we shall see. And I don't have a towel. God dang it, Brad. Alright, we'll be back.
Anything can happen on live TV.
So wouldn't it be so funny if I just ran away then and left it rolling? Alright guys, so we're going to start with the part. I'm going to add a little bit more moisture. Here we go. So I start with the part, going flat on the back. A little bit of elevation at the front. Square in the center. Guys, you can already see that nice dryness coming through. And if you notice, the good thing about the powder is actually it's giving his hair a lot more body because it was slightly finer. Yeah. So as a blow drying test, we can see that it's actually done really, really well. We've got a nice thick, it's thickened the hair right out. I love that it's completely matte and natural looking. There's no shine to it at all. And it's nice because then that way now I'm able to refine my haircut even more with our Reuzel blending scissors, or shears, depending on where you're from. And what I'm doing, if you notice, I'm going to go horizontal to my base or to the actual start of our top layers or our haircut. And then we're going to switch to vertical, horizontal, that one. That one, so we're going to chop into the head and soften that layer a little bit. As you see, that's starting to sit a lot better. So again, we're going to go just underneath, horizontally, and then we're going to chip in, soften that top transition zone. I like the fact of doing this when it's dry, because a lot of people think as soon as you've put product into the hair, you're actually done with your haircut. But if it's a product that he's going to use or your customer's going to use every day, then you're going to want it to sit perfectly after they put it on themselves. So it's always best to refine as well after you put some product in. Isn't that right, Bradders?
Yeah.
Jolly good. And finally, the last part of our refinement. I know it's slightly over an hour, or we're approaching it.
1 minute.
1 minute, Brad, thank you. Meant to give me a 15-minute warning, I get 1 minute.
That's all right, Paul, take your time. We're still with you. Everyone's still here, and you're doing a great job.
Aww. And then as I go above my baseline into my interior of the haircut, I'm going to soften as I go. See, he's got a natural part there, so I'm just going to soften that transition. I'm going to take a little bit of weight through this middle area, just a little bit. But I'm going to do it to protect my silhouette layer. So the front, I'm skipping completely, and I'm taking weight out of the interior. We got one last blow. Right. Hi guys, so I hope you have enjoyed, especially our cocktail of mixing some products, some of the cocktail that you guys might not have seen before, but you've seen the results, especially on slightly sort of finer hair, and seeing what it can do to enhance the hair. Because remember, as much as we love our brand, it's not about making the haircut better, it's just enhancing what we've already achieved. Don't tell me off, Reuzel, I still like working. So again, with my pick, I'm just feeding it through the hair. But I actually really dig this sort of really dry, natural. You can see just how much it's thickened up the client's head. But any questions? Anything I may have gone overlooked or skipped through slightly, or?
Just a lot of thank yous. Great job. Awesome work. Everyone really enjoyed it today, Paul. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you guys for watching. I really, really do appreciate it. And you say I wanted to keep a little bit of that wave in the front there. But you can see from that front silhouette, we got our squared shape brownness off the sides here, so it helps it blend through even nicer. I quite like the little wave there. But again, I hope you guys have liked what you've seen today. We are back, Reuzel Education online, free education. Also, we hope you enjoyed the cocktail products we did. We're always looking to invent new products, so if you have anything that you think we're missing in our line, drop it in the comments, and you never know. Right, there you go. The sort of executive scumbag zero fadey thingy. And I should brush you down because that's the polite thing to do. So, good old talk. Or Mikey White Trash used to say, if you're doing a fade, the best thing to cover it with is talcum powder. Tip top. Right, guys. I've been Paul Taylor-Clinch. Pirate Paul is on the old Instagram, on the old doohickey. We're probably not going to be going away very often this year, especially because of everything that's going on. Sincerely hope you've all been safe and your loved ones and friends and family are doing well as well. Thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the not too distant future.
Thank you, Paul, so much. Do us a favor, take some pictures of your model and we'll post them up on the Reuzel page along with your video. Everyone watching, thank you for your time this morning. We look forward to seeing you again next week. We'll be joined live from Maryland with David Cheeseburger Eddie Brockhoff. You know you're going to want to see that. Cheese always does a great demonstration and offers some incredible education. Take care, be well, stay safe. Bye-bye.